Percents. Objective. To work with percents and decimals. Like me, I like to work with them. Percents. We have an objective here. We're going to be working with percents and decimals as the name of the section implies. So let's just talk about what a percent actually is. Percent. Per 100, like cents. You know what I'm saying? Per 100 divided by 100. We'll talk about that. Here we go. The word percent means hundredths or divided by 100. So when you see 48%, it means 48 hundredths. Interesting. Very interesting. You could also think of it as 48 divided by 100. So this can be shown as decimal or a fraction. So here we have 48 hundredths. If you know that's the hundredths place, 48 hundredths. Or you can write it as 48 hundredths. Both of these are ways you can write 48%. So when you see this little symbol, it means percent, right? So let's talk about it a little bit, kind of an easy one. 3/5 is what percent? 3 out of 5 is what percent? 3 is what percent of 5? So it's saying 3/5 is equals what per 100, or what divided by 100. 3/5 is what, remember what percent means, divided by 100, is what divided by 100. That's what it's saying. 3/5 is what divided by 100? Well, I just wrote it out just like that. How do we solve? Well, multiply here. We have 3 times 100, 5 times x, right? Divide by 5. And what do we get? Well, 105 reduce. 5 goes into that 20 times. 3 times 20 is 60. So 3/5 is what percent? 3/5 is 60%. X is 60. Here we're saying x equals the percent. Alright. Let's look at some common fractions that you'll be changing an awful lot of. So you should just know these. You want to commit these to memory. Save you some time. You probably know most of these. Half is 50%. A quarter is 25%. So if you have a quarter of something, you have 25% of it. 2 quarters, that's a half, that's 50%. 3 quarters, that's 75%. If you're 3/4 of the way through your test, you're 75% of the way through your test. If you had, 400 questions on your test, you have 300 right, you got a 75 on the test, 75%. 1/3 is 33 1/3. 2/3 is 66 2/3. Well, then 3/3 is what? Well, you add 33 1/3 to 66 2/3, you get 100. 3/3 is 100. See? 3/3 is 100%. 1/5 is 20%, 2/5 is 40%, 3/5, well, obviously 60, 4/5 80, 5/5, that'd be 100, and 1/10 is 10%. So if you ask about 10% of something, you want, wait, what's 1/10 of it? All right, kind of cool, right? So let's talk about how we can actually translate questions with words directly into equations. This is great. We do the following. We can translate sentences into equations by, wherever we see an is, we can substitute with an equals. Where we see the word of, we put a multiplication sign, and what, we put an x. For instance, we have 12% of 220 is what number? Well, remember what percent means. That's per 100, or divided by. So 12 hundredths, or I could write it as 12%. You can also write it as 12 hundredths. 12 hundredths of 220 is what? 12% of multiply 220 is what? X. Multiply it out, you can find what x is. Here's another one. What is 23% of 300? So my is, my what, my of is multiplication. 23% is 23 per 100 of 300. So 0.23 times that. Now this one's saying what percent of 36 is 24? So what divided by 100? So what percent of 36 is 24? Solve for x. Multiply by the LCD, multiply both sides by 100, divide by 36, and you'll find it, what that x is. Okay? So this is how you do it. What of is? What of is? Is that. So let's do one. Let's see what we got here. Actually, we're going to do, once we get the equation, how do we solve these? That's what we're doing here. Well, when you want to solve equations with decimals, it's very much like we did last time. You're still going to multiply by the LC, dizzle, baby. So here I have what? what is my denominator here? This 1.2 is the same thing as 12 tenths. This is 4 tenths. This is 36 wholes. So I have a 1 in the denominator, a 10, and a 10. So I can multiply both sides of this by 10. Multiply 10 by 2 slides a decimal over, doesn't it? So I get 12x equals 360 plus 4x. Subtract 4x from both sides. What does that equal? No, I'm not going to do that right now. I wish it was like a little bit easier. Alright, I'll do it. Ready? 8 goes into 360 how many times? 4 times 8 is 32. 32 from 360 is 45. There. I know you guys want to see a little divide. I didn't feel like doing it, but I'm only 6 minutes in and I have a little bit of time, so I said, what the hey. Alright. Ooh. A $120 coat goes on sale for $96. By what percent was the coat discounted? We want to know what percent it was discounted. Well, can I find out how much it was discounted? Yeah, let me see. I mean, it went from 120 to 96, so didn't it go down $24? It was discounted $24. That was the discount. But they're saying by what percent? So we want to know what percent this is of that. So 24 is what, so I'm going to try to make this into a sentence. When I see these, let's see. What I'm saying is 24 is what percent of 120? That's the question I'm asking, because the discount, I want to know what percent it was discounted. It was discounted $24. 24 is what percent of 120? That'll answer my question. 24 is what percent x 100ths of 120. And then you solve for x, multiply both sides by 100. 2400 equals 120x. Divide by 120. Veep. Zeros are gone. 12 goes into that. Well, looks like it was a 20% discount. Isn't that great? Because 12 goes into 240 20 times. Right? So we end up having a 20% discount and we answered the question. So this of is thing is really, you know, you can take advantage of that. And don't forget, wherever you see the percent, right, anywhere you see that percent, it means per 100 or divided by 100 or hundredths, okay? So don't forget that, all right? Hey, have a nice day. Good luck with your percent problems.